Patriots fans, we're back with an exclusive video on the latest updates on our beloved New England Patriots. Before we jump in, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. This way you'll stay updated and never miss any breaking news or exclusive content. The NFL draft is in the books, and while most of the spotlight falls on the players who heard their names called over the course of those intense days, the real underdog stories are just beginning. Once the final pick is made and the cameras shut off, teams shift their focus to a different battlefield, the chaotic world of undrafted free agency. This is where grit, hunger, and untapped potential step into the frame. It's where players who didn't get their name announced still fight tooth and nail for that one shot, that single opportunity to wear the jersey on game day. This year, the team brought in a total of 19 undrafted free agents. That's 19 chances, 19 long shots, 19 names that fans probably haven't heard or may never hear again, unless one of them breaks through. Of course, history has shown us that it's possible. Every season, at least, one or two of these players do enough in camp, show enough heart, and flash enough ability to turn heads and climb their way onto the final 53-man roster. That's the dream. And it starts now. Let's dive into this group and break down who's coming in and what they might bring to the table. It's a mixed bag, no doubt. Some players come in with college accolades, others with raw traits that need refining. A few stood out during their pro day or flashed in specific games, but most are here because scouts and coaches saw just enough potential to take a flyer. So now, with rookie minicamps and training camp looming, it's time to evaluate these new faces and see who, if anyone, can rise from obscurity. One name that immediately jumps off the page is Elijah Ponder. For me, he's the top undrafted free agent signing for the team this year. A dynamic edge rusher out of Cal Poly, Ponder gets an A+ from me. The edge position was a focal point in the draft, but adding a player like this after the fact shows that the front office wasn't done addressing that need. Ponder brings elite athleticism and a relentless motor that can absolutely translate to the next level. He tested extremely well, a 9.7 out of 10 on the athletic scale. And even though his frame might be a little lean for the position, everything else about his profile screams upside. He's explosive off the line, has great bend, and knows how to use his hands. He may not be the biggest guy on the edge, but that hasn't stopped plenty of successful NFL pass rushers before. His tape shows a guy who can win in space, chase down quarterbacks, and play with fire every snap. He'll be in a battle during training camp, no doubt, but he has the tools to make some serious noise and possibly sneak onto the final roster, or at the very least earn a spot on the practice squad. Right behind him, another intriguing signing is Efton Chisholm III, a wide receiver who shined at the FCS level. Chisholm caught an insane 120 passes last season for 1,300 yards. That's not just production, that's dominance. He was breaking records and torching defenses week after week. His hands are elite and he runs crisp routes. While the jump from FCS to the NFL is no joke, his ability to consistently create separation and make contested catches gives him a legitimate shot. He gets an A grade from me as well. The wide receiver room is always competitive, but adding a guy like this to the mix just raises the level for everyone. And then there's CJ Dupree, another name that might have deserved to be called during the draft. Standing 6'5" and weighing 256 pounds, he brings prototype size for the tight end position. He played at Alabama and was their primary starter, though more as a blocking tight end than a receiving threat. But don't let that fool you. He's a serious red zone weapon when used the right way. I gave him an A2. If the team decides to carry 3 tight ends on the final roster, I think he could challenge for that third spot. His experience, frame, and blocking ability could be valuable, especially in 2 tight end sets or goal line packages. Now let's talk about the backfield, because the competition there is about to heat up. The room already features names like Trayvon Henderson, Randall Stevenson, and Antonio Gibson. But into that mix enters Lan Larrison, an all-purpose back from UC. Davis, this guy was a monster in college. He carried the ball nearly 300 times for over 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns in a single season. That's bell cow production. He's 5'10", 209 pounds, built solid, low to the ground, and It's tough to bring down. He doesn't have burner speed, but he makes up for it with vision, contact balance, and a physical running style that wears down defenders. I'm giving him an A as well. If the team decides to keep 4 running backs like they did last year, Larison could absolutely be that 4th guy. Now switching to the trenches, and let's talk about Jack Connolly, a guard out of Boston. College! This dude is a mountain of a man. He's not flashy, but he's reliable. His performance at the Combine didn't blow scouts away. His 40-yard dash time and explosion metrics were average, but when you turn on the tape, he gets the job done. He scored a 7.76 on the grading scale, and I gave him a B. Not every player needs to be a freak athlete, especially on the interior offensive line. Sometimes you just need a guy who can anchor, fight in the phone booth, and open holes. Connolly fits that mold. He might not crack the starting 5, but he's exactly the kind of player you want developing on the practice squad. In the secondary, there's a safety from the University of Cincinnati who I think could surprise some people. He's 6'1", 207 pounds, solid build, versatile skill set. He can line up deep, cover tight ends, and even contribute on special teams. I gave him a B. He may not be flashy, but he does a little bit of everything well. If he doesn't make it as a safety, I can see him earning a spot as a kick returner or a gunner on special teams. Those are the kind of roles that often get overlooked but can be game changers on Sundays. Of course, not every signing is going to be a slam dunk. There are a few names in this class that, while talented, may face an uphill battle. One tight end from Ohio transitioned from wide receiver to tight end in 2021. He's more of an H-back, short yardage type of player. Someone who might be used near the goal line or on 3rd and short. But with the depth already in place, it's hard to see where he fits. I gave him a C, not because he's a bad player, but because the path to the roster is extremely narrow. Same goes for an offensive tackle from Merrimack. He played both right guard and right tackle, which is a plus in terms of versatility. At 6'5" and 311 pounds, he certainly has the size. But I see him more as a developmental project, maybe a year or 2 away from being game ready. I gave him a C as well. If he sticks around, it'll likely be on the practice squad, learning from veterans and refining his technique. Now I know. The next name is one a lot of fans have questions about. The new quarterback from Louisiana. He's coming in as the 3rd guy on the depth chart. And let me just be honest, he wouldn't have been my first choice. He put up decent numbers in college, had some flashy runs, and completed a solid percentage of his passes, but when you really dig into the tape, there are question marks. His decision-making is inconsistent, and the jump to the NFL level might be a tough one. I gave him a C. If one of the top 2 quarterbacks goes down, I think the team would look elsewhere rather than handing the reins to this rookie. Then there's the linebacker from a powerhouse college program. Big, physical, and athletic. But the position group is already stacked. He's likely going to have to make his mark on special teams. I gave him a C-. He's not a bad player, just caught in a tough numbers game. There's also a wide receiver with a tricky name, good college stats, and average athleticism. Another C-. In a crowded wide receiver room, he's going to need to absolutely shine in camp to avoid the cut. And now we get to the lower end of the grading scale. There's a defensive tackle who used to play tight end. Interesting background, but the transition is steep. He got a D+ from me. Another player, a cornerback, earned a straight D. Lack of speed, lack of size, lack of production. Just not much there that stands out. Then we have Brock Lampy, a running back from Northern Illinois. I gave him an F. It's tough, I know, but the numbers don't lie. There's just nothing in his profile that suggests he can hang at the pro level. Same for Brandon Crossley, another F grade. And finally, Jeremiah Webb, a wide receiver from South Alabama, rounds out the list with another F. These are guys you root for, no doubt, but when the competition gets real, it's hard to see them making the cut. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to Patriots Hub and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our New England Patriots. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In one of the most shocking twists the NFL has seen in recent years, star quarterback Josh Allen has left the Buffalo Bills to join their fierce division rivals, the New England Patriots. The move has sent shockwaves through the football world, not only due to the unprecedented nature of a franchise quarterback switching sides within the same division, but also because Allen had been considered the face of the Bills franchise. A player who was supposed to bring a long-awaited Super Bowl title to Buffalo, Allen, drafted 7th overall by the Bills in 2018, rapidly developed into one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league. Known for his powerful arm, ability to extend plays, and fearless running style, he led Buffalo to multiple playoff appearances and AFC championship contention. His chemistry with wide receiver Stephon Diggs and his leadership on and off the field made him a beloved figure in Buffalo. That's why his sudden departure is being described by fans as a betrayal. A move that will haunt the franchise for years to come. The Patriots, who have been searching for a long-term solution at quarterback since Tom Brady's departure, have now secured one of the most talented signal callers in the NFL. This unexpected signing could instantly transform New England back into a legitimate contender in the AFC. Head coach Bill Belichick, often seen as a mastermind when it comes to building dominant teams, now has a new weapon to shape a championship caliber roster. Details of the deal remain closely guarded, but sources say that Allen's frustration with the Bills' recent playoff collapses and disagreements with the front office played a role in his decision. Meanwhile, in New England, the excitement is palpable. Patriots fans believe this could mark the beginning of a new dynasty, while Bills fans are left stunned and heartbroken. As Josh Allen suits up in a Patriots uniform, the rivalry between Buffalo and New England is about to reach a level of intensity the NFL has never seen. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our New England Patriots, be sure to subscribe to Patriots Hub and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.